These cold winter nights are the perfect backdrop for learning Tchaikovsky's piano piece, January, from the Seasons, especially if you have a warm fire near you to match the piece's subtitle, Kamälka, or By the Fireside. Hi, my name is Adrian, and this is the first of a number of videos that I'm going to make about Tchaikovsky's piano piece, January. So I've always wanted to learn this piece, but I only got around to doing it this year. And I was looking for some easier pieces to practice while I was learning more difficult pieces. And I thought, okay, I'll look at Tchaikovsky's January. So this piano channel is it's basically following my, my practice, and as I explore different piano music. So none of these pieces are, they're still works in progress. So the videos just chart this progress, they're progress videos. So in this first video, I'm going to just read through the first section of this piece. I'm still learning it, so I can't give a complete performance. I'm also going to talk about the background to this piece and to the Seasons as a whole. And then just give you some of my observations about the piece and maybe different things I'm practicing, maybe that require an extra little bit of work, or things that are maybe problematic. Okay. So before I go any further, I'm just going to play through the first section just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. So that's the first section of the piece, and I just went into the first bar of the B section, or the development section there. So that's roughly what it sounds like. You can see that my playing is not perfect. I'm still kind of sight reading through it and getting used to the notes and the fingering. So just on the background of the Seasons, they were commissioned in 1875 for a music journal or magazine in St. Petersburg. And the idea was that there would be a piece for each month of the year, and it would be published each month of 1876. So the first piece is obviously January. And the editor of this magazine, Nikolai, he gave Tchaikovsky a subtitle and an epigraph for each month to kind of give Tchaikovsky some direction and maybe some inspiration. So the subtitle for January is Kamälka, which means by the fireside or by the hearth. And the epigraph was 4 lines from a poem by Pushkin. And that goes, mirной, negi, uголок, Nocь, sumrаком, одела, Времена, gasnet, огонек, svečka nagorela. So in English, that translates as a little corner of peaceful bliss, the night dressed in twilight. The fire is dying in the fireplace and the candle has burnt out. So January and February were written in November, December 1875, and there's actually a lot of letters available between Tchaikovsky and this editor, and I can just read you even one of them. When Tchaikovsky had started writing the first two pieces, he says, "Most respected Nikolai Matveyevich, this morning, or perhaps even yesterday, the first of two pieces were posted to you." That would be January and February. "It was not without some trepidation that I sent them to you. I'm afraid that you will find them too long and of poor quality. I ask you to tell me your opinion frankly, so that I can bear your comments in mind when composing the next pieces." So yeah, all of these letters, the correspondence, are from the Mariinsky Theatre archives in St. Petersburg. And it's interesting to read them. You know, you get a kind of an insight into Tchaikovsky's life, you know, as well. I think this piece in particular, January, and just the epigraph probably meant a lot to Tchaikovsky. The idea of, you know, a warm home place and being at the fire at winter time, that it might have had special significance for him because although he had a good childhood, he was sent away from home very early, 2 years younger than he should have been sent. So he was sent at 10 years of age to school in St. Petersburg, and the separation from family life had a kind of a lasting effect on him. So a piece like this and with this kind of theme maybe brought back a lot of kind of memories for him. So in terms of the piece itself, in a later video, I'm going to do a deeper musical analysis of the piece. For now, I'll just talk kind of about some of the kind of obvious things. It's a straightforward enough piece in 3/4 time. It's in A major. It's in ternary form, which is A, B, A, plus a coda. So we have an A section, which introduces two themes or two melodies, then a developmental section, which is the B section. Then a reiteration of the A section of the original material, and then finally a coda or a tail or an addendum to the piece at the very end, which kind of concludes the piece. So what I played you just there is the A section. The music is marked moderato semplice ma espressivo, which basically means moderately simple or straightforward, but expressive. So moderate speed, played in a straightforward way, but also expressive. And it starts off piano, so softly. And the opening few bars, basically, they very much establish the tonality of A major. So I'll just play it again for you. So that's the first 4 bars. So you can hear there that it starts with this E major, then to A major, then to E, A, E, and back to A. So we're just going between dominant, tonic, 5/1 the whole time there. And then it just goes to a secondary dominant here. B minor, and back to E major, and then a repeat. And changing here, going to more of an E major tonality. And we're ending again in E major, the dominant. So it's all very much between opening in A, modulating to E, but very closely related harmonically. Some of the things here at the beginning, it's interesting. There's this, on the second beat, we have a big block chord in E major, or E7th, actually. So there's a danger that this second beat will sound like a first beat, and that the first beat will sound like a pickup beat. So it could end up sounding something like 3, 1, 2, 3, whereas we want to be very sure that the first, that the opening single line is on the first beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's something that just needs to be, I need to watch that as I'm playing it. When we get into bar 7, the tenor part takes off, becomes a little bit more interesting, and then it's developed further in bar 10. So that's this part here. So we can hear this. And then later in bar 10, again, this more, an interesting inner line, basically, that's happening. So, yeah, altogether, just the second half of that opening. I should say as well that we reached the highest note here in bar 9. So, and for that second section, or the part 2, let's say, of the opening, it says poco più forte, so a little louder. And if it starts off a little bit quietly, then it becomes a little bit more confident at this stage. And reaching up to here. And Tchaikovsky actually he really makes a point, or makes it stand out even more, this highest note, by dropping of the accompaniment there, so that this melody is exposed completely on its own. So it's the melody is just on its own there, so it really stands out as it reaches that high G sharp. Then in bar 11, we have a kind of a middle section of the A section. And again, there's more activity in the tenor and bass parts. So I'll just remind you of that first of all. So yeah, you can hear that the tenor voice there is a lot busier. And there's actually an accent on this C natural. Then one of the other things in this area here, he introduces, well, first of all, sequence as we go up. So from here we have. So it's just the same material, but repeated major third higher. So we have this, and then we have this, and then a variation on this, and then it reaches all the way up to the highest note again. And these are kind of pairs, or paired slurs, basically. Coming all the way back down again. And we also, there's a lot of accents there, actually. So to really bring out this. And then again. And then. The other thing, just towards the end of this middle of the first section, we have a hemiola effect. In other words, 3 beats over 2 bars rather than 3 beats in a bar. We get that feeling. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we get the feeling of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the accents in the music, they kind of spell this out. So we're going. And then we're back to the start. There's a ritenuto, so it's slowly held, or a little bit held back. And then into the first chord of the B section. So it's just held back in those last 2 bars before we enter the next section. And I won't get into the development today, but that first chord there of the B section is unexpected. It's actually, it ends up being a German sixth. It's a deceptive cadence because we expect at the end here to finish in E major. Something like that maybe. But instead we go. So it's this unexpected chord that starts the B section. So yeah, I'm still practicing this. As you can see, there's still a lot of work to do. In the next video, I'll look at the B section. I just want to introduce the piece really in this video. Actually, and the channel itself is, you know, it's kind of a vlog, really. It's lots of videos, just short videos showing my progress with different pieces. And this is one of the easier pieces. This is kind of for diversion, really. I'll be looking at some more difficult pieces that I'm learning, you know, which are taking a longer time to learn, obviously. So that's it for today. That's the A section. In the next video, I'll look at the B section, and I'll link that in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of them, please subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel. And like the video, and even leave a comment if you're learning the same piece or maybe one of the other pieces from the seasons. I'd like to hear your feedback or anything you've learned about some of the other pieces as well. So yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you.